Hello to my subscribers, my future subscribers, and my Facebook fan family. I want to thank you to my coming to my channel. This is Amorica. In a previous video, I had mentioned that I was having a problem with my trainers' tips coming off. They kept popping off really easily, and I had asked if anyone had any ideas or could make any suggestions to keep that from happening, because when I would go to file them or anything that would require any kind of pressure over I guess where, they pop off. So in the video, in a few videos, you'll see where I'm holding it down with my thumb. And I've also seen other videos where people were doing the same thing with their trainer. So I didn't get any responses, so I went ahead and ordered bulk of these tips. And of course, sometimes I get impatient. I decided, well, with all the knowledge that I have and all the products that I have, could I come up with something temporary that would allow me to not have to really continue to make a huge investment in nail tips, but would work for me for what I like doing all the time. When all my spare time is create, art or sculpt or try something new. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you what I discovered in the process of trying to find a solution to my dilemma. So let us get started. In my area, I have several things. So if you want to collect these things and try doing it with me, you are so welcome to. At any time you can pause the video or play it over. So what I had done was I have, of course, the tips for the thumbs, and I have the tips for the 4 fingers. And one thing that I noticed upon looking at the components, the nail tips, is that this component right here on the thumb was bigger than the one on the regular tip ones. If you can see that, let me get real close there. You can see that this one's a lot bigger. So I took it and I put it on here and I thought, oh, okay, this will work. But that's really wide and it's mainly designed for the thumb. I was like, it's okay. But that would really work. And then I went, aha, when I went to go invest in all of those nail tips, I didn't stop to think about that. So I thought, so I'm already planning and thinking, okay, if I get all those tips and they are small like this, I am going to have to figure out what to do with them, because I'm realizing now that the most important part is this part here. So I thought, okay, with all, like I said, the knowledge I have, I thought about it some more and I thought, I'm always saying how I wish that I could have these do what my dual forms do. I wish that I can build on here and pop it off and still have this part. And I thought, now, how can I do that? And I thought, okay, well, I will take this and I will attach it to a dual form. Easy enough. So I went ahead, I found the right size dual form, and I tried to attach it with nail glue. It wouldn't stick. For the life of me, no matter how much I put, how long I held it on there, it wouldn't stick. So I thought, okay, that's not going to work. What can I do next? And I thought, maybe jewelry glue, because I'm also a jewelry maker. So I thought maybe jewelry glue would work. So I got some jewelry glue. I put it on. It didn't work, to my surprise. And it actually took even longer to try, or to attempt to dry. So I thought the only thing I haven't tried was a glue gun and glue. And I thought to myself, I said, well, with my prior knowledge, I had created some jewelry for a young lady that attended the Oscars. I can't remember what year it was. And I didn't have enough jewelry glue. I got my glue gun. I attached 2 pieces, got a call later on, a couple of evenings later, and said, a component came out of my earring. So I said, just pop the other one off. They'll never know. That's exactly what she did. So with that knowledge, I thought, it's not going to work. But you know what? I'm willing to try. Why not try? So I went ahead and I went to Walmart and I purchased a glue gun. And this is the one that I got. And you see it has the little tiny, this which makes it great. I have it right now on low. It has a high and a low temperature. It's got the little stand. I'm using the thicker glue sticks. What I love about this nozzle is you don't get like seepage. You know how you set it down and your glue starts sometimes running out? I think it's because of this little nozzle tip. So I got one of those, and I went ahead and I purchased some Gorilla Glue sticks at Walmart as well. This is a 45 count, and it bonds wood, metal, glass, plastic, floral, fabric, leather, foam, and more. And this one is all temperature. So, and this is Gorilla Glue sticks. It says incredibly strong. I vouch it is incredibly strong. All right. So I thought, okay, so I really only need, you know, and I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll glue this on. And I did, and it worked okay, but I didn't like it. I didn't like the way it, I guess, looked and the way it rested. And I just, in order for me to find the right tip to put on here, this would have been perfect, this size. But the problem was it wasn't sticking. So I thought, okay, I'll get the one with the bigger back. I'll put it on there, but that's so big. That means this is going to have to be bigger to cover it. And I didn't want to have to do that. I can, but I didn't want to have to do that. So what I did was I went ahead and I thought, okay, all I really need is this component right here. So I got my clippers and I cut around it. Thought, okay, that's easy enough. I'll cut around it like I'm doing now. I'm just cutting around it. Because that's all I really need, is just that little piece. Okay. All right. So then I thought, okay, I got it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to file it. Just a little bit to get all the little sharp edges off. Nothing real fancy. All right. Then I thought, okay, I'm going to glue it on. And that's all I need. And it'll work great. Now, when I tried to use regular glue, and I put a little on here, I put a little on here, and it wasn't sticking, I thought if I rough it up here and rough it up here, it would stick. It didn't. So I already knew that wasn't going to work. So, and this part you do have to practice. I'm going to tell you right now, because you can make a mess. And if you get it on wrong, it's tilted or it's bent wrong, or you've submerged this component in too much, not only is it not going to stick on there, but if you have to take it off to correct it, it is very, very difficult. I even hurt myself trying to get it off to fix it. I end up having to get rid of it because these are very soft. Dual forms are soft. They're designed to be sculpted into with gel or acrylic, put onto the nail, and then pop off. Okay, so then what I did was I had to perfect how to lay the glue in here. And this is what I learned. I only need the size of maybe a small pinto bean, maybe a red kidney bean, not very big, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to submerge this whole tip, like say like right up to here. You do not want to submerge it up to there, because if you do, it's not going to fit on your nail. It's not going to fit because it needs to go all the way down. So what I did was, once I put it in the glue, I'm only going to go up to where you see that little white line, to where it hits right here. That's it. All right, so I'm going to show you what I did. So I took my dual form. Like I said, I've had to practice to get this. I had to push the glue a little bit. I had to be real careful. It just makes me laugh when I think about it, because I mean, it was a battle. Ooh. There you go. So I'm going to set that in there. And you have to make sure that it's straight, because getting that off to fix it and readjust it is very difficult. All right, now it says it takes 45 seconds. I left it for like about 2 minutes. And there you go. That's basically what I did. Make sure I got it right here. And you only have a couple seconds to adjust it. After that, it starts to really harden. There you go. That's just enough. Okay, now we're going to set that aside. Okay, so once I did that, and I accomplished that, this is what I had. This is already dry. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my thumb. That one's on my thumb. And then we got my fingers. And you can hear them all clicking on. It's fantastic. And like I said, I only used 5 because I only had one hand. But that's on there. I mean, that is, whoop, that one's really on there. Oops, that wasn't on there. There you go. Oh, it's still popping off. Okay, let's see. Oh, that one's popping off. Oh, that one must have been my example, my other one. Okay, here we go. Let's put the one we just did. There you go. There you go. I mean, that's really on there. And that's, I'm using force. That's really on there. Okay, now, I thought, okay, this is great. Now I don't have to buy like tons of tips because now I have the dual formers on there. They're nice and long. I can sculpt, I can use gel, and I can do nail art. And then when they're dry, I just pop them off. There you go. They're reusable over and over and over again until the dual former is out. And I thought, this is a great application. Fantastic. I found a solution to my dilemma. Now, I thought, I wonder if I can do the same thing with my hands, my trainer hands. Instead of this trainer hand, this is the plastic, the singles. I thought, oh my God. These ones are, I have 2 different ones. This one's a softer one. This one's a harder plastic. Now, in a previous video, I had went ahead and I had sculpted some product on here because I was finding that my tips were not sticking and they couldn't fit. They weren't fitting right. So what I did was I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use some other dual forms that I have. These ones that I used on here were from, let's see, I have ones from McCart. I think these were the McCart. The ones I used on this trainer were from McCart, and then I have the ones that I'm going to show you now are the Cooper ones that I got. I got these, was it on Amazon.com? No, Walmart for like $8. Okay, and those have lines on them too. The McCart had lines on them, and these have lines on them too. The lines are a little bit placed differently. So I thought, okay, what if the same application works for here? This, you know, putting them on here. It works the same. So I went ahead and I did a thumb, and it does. With the acrylic on there, they stick, and I thought that was fantastic. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm going to take one, let's see. All right, that's the pinky. All right, so this is the index finger. This has the acrylic on it. I shaped it to be more of like a natural nail. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit it with my glue. And these are the other form. You have to be careful not to add too much because if it seeps out, you'll have to clean. I mean, if you want to clean it, you can. But, you know, I'm like, if you can avoid the steps, why do them, you know? All right, so here we go. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to apply it. There you go. And just let it dry. You don't have to squeeze it like all the way down. It's going to stick. And I like trying to keep things looking as clean and neat as possible because I do a lot of practicing and demos and stuff like that for you guys. So I want everything to look its best. And there you go. And you let that dry. Now, I found that using on my trainer, my hand, this one, and this trainer with the dual forms, the McCart and the Cooper, these can go on high temperature glue if you had to. Now, I did get some McCart stilettos. They're short stilettos, and they're made a little bit differently. They're not, I think, as thick. And I'm going to go ahead and do one of those to show you. And the reason I wanted to show you with these, because these are smaller. If you notice, they're shorter, a lot shorter. And there's a reason for that. Because even though these are long, you can adjust the length. but I decided I just wanted to have one hand short that would allow me to sculpture and the others long for nails with long, projects with longer nails. So I took it, I sized it to make sure that it would fit. Now this one I have to use low temperature because this form is actually thinner than the other two. So I went on a lower temperature and a smaller ball. And I try to keep it, try real hard to keep it in the center as much as I can. And then I'm going ahead and I'm pressing it. Now with these, I don't go all the way back into that cuticle part. I try to keep it as much as I can in the center right here. And I stay about a millimeter, about a millimeter, 2 millimeters away from the very back, because I'm going to show you something. Because when I go to sculpt or go to gel or anything I lay on here, I don't want it to get trapped behind that little space back there, because when I go to have to remove it to start over, even though it may pop off, it may not come off as easily off the plastic, which I experienced with this one. That's why I had to create the acrylic foundation before I decided to do anything on here. This right here will allow you that space to where you never have to worry about anything falling back there. And if it does, you can get your brush in there and you can clean that out very easily. And there you have that. Now, because these are thinner, they will melt on a high temperature. This one actually melted under the higher temperature. But see, I used the lower temperature and this one didn't melt at all. So you do have to do that. And I also liked using these. I can leave them like this, but also too, I can cut these down shorter. And you can do that with any of them. You can cut it down short. And I would do it, I would never cut shorter than this part, than their finger. So if you cut it, you're going to cut it right here. Because that way you can take out your form and you can lay your form under here to sculpt a nail. And you can do it with gel or with acrylic, and because it's a dual form, it's not going to stick. So when you're done with it, you just pop it off, and there you go. You have your nail ready to go for another practice finger. But see, that works great. There you go. And you can do this with any of them. I just have 3, so I showed you 3 different, types of tool forms that I'm using, and 3 methods, that I used to accomplish all the tasks or the things that I am going to need in order to do more demonstrations for you guys. But there you go. That was pretty much my little short video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate your subscriptions. And remember, if you have not subscribed, subscribe, click on the bell. That way you get new notifications of videos that I will continue to release and share with you as they happen. Sometimes I do live videos, so make sure you click that bell because it will also give you notifications of that. And remember, thank you for coming and visiting me and allowing me to share my passion for nails with you. Amorica signing off.